So now we're live, and we're going to be recording this for the busy members who weren't able to join us this afternoon, but those of you who were, thank you for being here with us. This is going to be another installment of the program that is called Shop Talk with Tim. This will be the August 2021 installment, and our topic today is something that is so important for everybody. It's this dynamic of the customer who has opted to go onto your website but still call you. And sometimes it makes us crazy, it makes us pull our hair out, and we think, gosh darn it, why don't you just finish shopping online? Because we get this hybrid sales dynamic where they're talking to us on the phone, but they're mentioning something on the website. But trust me, I've got answers. I've got a path for you to follow. I'm going to take a lot of the stress out of this. Many of you are familiar with me. You're a Floral Strategies customer. I've been at your store. You've been on our previous webinars. You've been on our previous sessions here for Flower Shop Network. Nevertheless, we get new members every month. So humor me as I briefly fill everybody in on my background and what we do. So that's a picture of me. My name is Tim Huckabee. I'm the president of the company. Floral Strategies is completely independent. We work closely with Flower Shop Network, but we're not a part of them. We aren't owned by them. We're independent, but we're teaming up because we both serve you, the independent flower shop owner. My story is that back in 1997, I launched the industry's first and only company whose sole purpose is to educate florists on the retail and on the wholesale end how to operate better, how to sell better, how to serve better, how to increase your profits. And I'm very proud to say that we have over 7,000 customers. I actually have closer to 9,000 customers. I have personally visited over 7,000 individual flower shops on 5 continents. That said, so much of what I teach, pardon me, aside from being peppered with anecdotes about the interesting people that I've met in the exciting places I visited, is also a set of best practices. Some of the people that I've worked with are flower shops that do over $10 million a year, but I'm just as likely to work with a flower shop with a staff of 2 in a little town. So there's a little bit of everything going on. What we're doing today is slightly different from what we've done in the past. What we're going to do is feature one of the programs out of our 15-minute florist program. This is a completely independent standalone program that we offer through Floral Strategies. And as you see by the tagline, it's inspiration on demand. In a nutshell, it's what we call Netflix for florists. So when you think about Netflix, at least the way I use it, I log in and they're going to say, welcome, Tim, and they're going to give me some titles that, based on my history, that I think I'm going to like. If I was in the middle of watching a program, they can let me resume. And once I'm in that environment, it's up to me how I use it, meaning I can watch one program, or gosh darn it, if it's a slow Saturday afternoon, I can binge 10 episodes back to back. So it's the same thing here. We have an organic library that continues to grow. We've got titles on everything that a flower shop needs: design, customer service, HR, visual merchandising. We've got teachers from around the world who teach these topics. So you're going to get a sample today to understand a little bit better how it works. Also, as I was promoting it, we're going to do a raffle. And one of you who is registered to join us live today will win a $300 credit to use in this program. So you can get a couple months for free. So we'll make that announcement tomorrow for you. So let me show you how one of our workshops looks, how it's structured. The way that we begin is we're always going to tell you who your teacher is. On this particular class, I'm the only one, but often it's somebody else and we're teaching together. It's an expert on whatever the field might be. And then we move into the topic. So again, the topic today is, how do you best handle that customer who tells you from the beginning, oh, I'm on your website, Or when you get down to talking about the product, then suddenly they reveal, well, I'm actually looking at this or that on your website. I want to give you some calm, some peace of mind, and help you to understand that you can navigate through that very quickly and very efficiently. In every 15-minute florist workshop, we break it down into 4 critical facts. That said, fact number 1 when dealing with this situation is that we want to be very conscious of our time. Now more than ever, you're being pulled in 39 directions in the shop, so you don't have 20 minutes to sit there and look at every single image on your website with the customer. And quite honestly, that defeats the purpose. So a lot of what we talk about in this particular workshop is how to give good customer service, but at the same time, how do you manage your time so you're not looking at all of the images, that you're not having to give your opinion on this design and that design. It's just not practical, and quite honestly, it defeats the purpose. So that's the concept. But then I want to give you a tip, and the tip is this, that you may not realize it, but you almost have like superhero powers. Customers rely on us. Customers follow our lead. They listen to what we say. And a very easy way to bring that to life is use 2 of these phrases that I'm showing you on the screen. And that is, I recommend or I suggest. It's saving time, so they don't need to ask you about, what do you think about this one? What do you think about that one? When you go in and you actively say to a customer, well, this is what I recommend, or this is the design that I suggest, it definitely streamlines the whole process. And I'm going to come back to that, because there's more to that than you probably even realize. Okay, hold that thought. Before we even get to there, there's a preliminary step that you need to take. So fact number 2 is, we've got to double check. We've got to make sure that the customer is on your website. And I'm sure even mentioning this brings a smile to your face, or maybe a scowl, because I know I've had that happen where I'm talking to a customer for 5 or 10 minutes, and then suddenly I think, you know what, that doesn't sound familiar, or that's not our pricing, or that's not our code. And then I realize, unfortunately, they've landed on an order gatherer site, or one of those, the 3 big wire services that so aggressively go after our customers. And it's unfortunate, and it confuses the customer. But I've got a tip. And the tip is this, that the easiest way to make sure that you're literally talking to the customer who's on the website is stop in your tracks and make sure they've landed there. And I say to a customer flat out who claims to be on our website, I say, respectfully, let's make sure, or even kind of in an almost kind of jovial manner, I'll say, let's make sure that we're literally on the same page. And I might say to them, does it say in the address bar www.timsflowers.com? That's one way of getting there. Another way is, you can, besides spelling it out, you can ask for an identifying feature. Some of you might have a very prominent logo, and you can ask the customer, do you see a bright orange Gerber daisy in the upper left-hand corner of the page? And if they don't, because some of the people we talk to aren't that tech savvy, but if they don't see a visual cue like that, then you know right away that there's a problem. Okay, it's going to take you an extra minute, but you want to talk to the customer who's on your website and not on somebody else's website. The analogy that I always make is, if I go to the drive-up window at McDonald's and say I want to order a Whopper, in all likelihood, the person behind the counter is going to say, well, that's a Burger King sandwich. I got a quarter pounder I can sell to you, and it has a similar kind of taste, but if you really want a Whopper, you need to go to Burger King. So likewise, you may feel differently, but my experience has shown me I don't want to talk to you when you're looking at somebody else's designs, because we may not have that container, and we may not be able to meet that price. It could be an inflated or a somehow modified price. Fact number 3 of those 4 critical facts is that what you want to do is validate your customer's choice. Remember, you're the expert. you've got a lot of pull with customers. They're going to follow your lead. And a very easy way to do that is use language such as saying that's such a popular design that is definitely a customer favorite. You can even personalize it and you can say, that's the one that I sent to my mom, or that's the one that I would send, or that's the one that I would love to receive. Any of those are helpful because you're literally putting your verbal stamp of approval on the customer's choice. And then what you're doing is getting back to that first image of the swirling clock. You're saving time, because when a customer hears from me that the item that they mentioned is my favorite or it's so popular, time and time again, they'll say, oh, good, because I saw so many on your website, I didn't know which one to pick, or like, oh, that's all that I needed to hear. And I've just made the shopping experience better for that customer. I've simultaneously saved myself some time. Here's my pro tip for you. When you're looking at that design that the customer chose, make sure that you do have the containers and you do have the flowers. And if not, if you've got to make a modification, just repeat the details to the customer and let her know, for example, yes, that's a great design, that's really popular. We've actually sold out of that yellow vase. So I'll put a note here that we'll use a clear vase, or I'll put a note, if you need to have yellow, we'll add a yellow ribbon, for example. You might have to make a substitution with flowers. We're all struggling still with all the bumps in the road in terms of product availability because of COVID. And in that case, you can say to the customer that we may not have those particular flowers you saw on the website, but it's going to have that same feeling. It's going to have that same color scheme, that same palette. Any version of that is reassurance to the customer that they've made the right choice and that what they're going to get is going to look very similar to, if not identical to, what they chose online. So those are 3 out of 4 facts that you can apply, you can use, and streamline your conversation with the customer, get them in and out of the phone call quicker, often get them spending more money. And I definitely know that what they end up getting delivered to them or on their behalf is going to be in sync with their expectations. So let me pause, see if anybody has any questions or any comments. Everybody is currently muted. There is a little icon next to your name. It looks like a hand. If you want to click on that, I can unmute you. If you've got a microphone, if you've dialed in, you'll be able to ask me a question. Also, you've got the ability to write in the chat box. If you've got a question or a comment, I can read that and respond. And I'm going to give you my contact information as well. So I realize sometimes people don't feel comfortable talking in this environment. And if you'd rather talk separately or afterwards, that's fine. But let me still just pause for a moment and see if we have anybody with a question. Okay, so Terry Patterson, your hand is raised. I just unmuted you. If you click one more time on the little red microphone next to your name, I'll be able to hear you. So to the left of your name, there should be a little icon that looks like a microphone. It's red. Click on that, it'll go green, and then I can hear you. While I'm waiting for Terry to do that, I'll see if anybody else has a question or a comment. Again, Terry, you have to click on the icon next to your name. Otherwise, if you found where to raise your hand, just go left of that, click on that, make the microphone green, and then you can talk. But otherwise, I can't hear you. All right, let me scroll through the list. My gosh, we had so many people join us today. That's very encouraging. But I guess you're all shy. I don't see any other hands going up. I don't see any questions being typed in. So before we turn this over to the good people at Flower Shop Network, let me give you some contact information for me. Okay, as always, we will post this for you on YouTube. We'll send you a link so you can watch it. And many of you have been with us since January, and we've had conversations with you, and you like what I say, and you understand that I come to this with kind of a neutral perspective, but with lots of experience. So if you want to continue to learn from me and get more information from me, join that 15-minute florist program. We'd love to have you on board. Here's my direct number. If you want to call me, talk to me, text me, whatever makes sense for you. It looks like somebody did type in a question. And the question was, how do you handle the expectation of an arrangement looking like, looking exactly as shown? Really good question. Thank you for asking, Tim. And the way that I handle the the expectation, if you will. So I'm gonna kind of read into your question, and this is still on the positive end. So before the flowers have been delivered, and maybe the customer is asking, is it going to look exactly like the picture? What I always say to a customer truthfully and honestly and easily is, yes, we aspire to have that design look like the image, because we did create or photograph those here at our store. But flowers are a natural product, and sometimes there are changes in shape and size, but the overall feeling will have that same look, that same palette. Your mom is going to love it. And quite honestly, that's really what customers want to know. If they've chosen a particular item because it's mainly purple and their mom's favorite color is purple, if we've got to do a little bit of a substitution with some blue delphinium on the side, I don't think that's going to be the end of the world for the customer. But we do talk that fourth point and in further classes in the 15-minute florist program about how to manage customer expectations. We've got a track on what happens afterwards, customer service, dealing with the customer or the recipient who isn't pleased with what they got. So that happens as well. And then let me come back to our kind sponsors at Flower Shop Network. And Cindy, if you would like to jump on and join us and maybe update members, please do.
Yes. Hey, everyone, and thanks, Tim. Yes, we're super excited to hear a lot of the feedback from our FSN shops that have participated in Tim's 15-minute Florist Club. We encourage you, if you have not done so, to check that out. Also, summer months, I know some of you have not slowed down at all, but it is the perfect time of the year to make radical changes. If you do not have your website with Flower Shop Network, we would love to show you some examples of that, some of the upgrades and changes that we have made throughout the summer. We partner with a lot of independent point of sale companies. So we have transformed numerous websites over the summer that shops have decided to just make that big change. And we would love to visit with you about that. Call in for Flower Shop Network, get your rep, let them show you some of the examples. We've got a great summer promotion going on right now. On top of all that, we do know and we take pride in having the best customer service we feel in the floral industry. So would love to visit with you about your website if you don't currently have it with Flower Shop Network. And check out Tim's 15-minute.
Well, thank you. And then, back at you, so many of the flower shops that I work with are on the platform from the website, and they've got lots of good things to say about it. And they've definitely seen an increase in their web traffic. And now they know how to handle it if somebody decides to pick up the phone and call. So on that note, thank you, everybody. Thanks for attending. I hope this little nugget of information is giving you some inspiration, and we will get together our schedule and our plans for additional Shop Talk with Tim workshops every month, and we look forward to seeing you in the 15-minute florist program. Thanks, everybody. Be safe. Have a good rest of your summer. Talk to you soon.